It's here, finally. It came a day early, so I'm very happy. It's great. Okay, that sounded a little sarcastic. It is very nice. We're gonna start the box. The box is in well condition. I mean, look at this. This is metal too. Very fancy, and it's like a fabric. Okay, this is getting weird. Okay, it's a very nice box. It's in very good condition. I'm not even sure I'm gonna keep the engine in the box to keep the box safe. This is metal too. It's very fancy. Very. Now, he crossed out the RS with EH, so I don't know anything about that, but I'm gonna have to look that up and see what that's all about. And here it is. Here's the wonderful engine. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go over the tender first. Okay, can we just acknowledge that A? That crooked A? I have the crookedness of it. Okay, other than that, it's pretty nice. And I like how he didn't paint the bottom because it looks very nice. Like he painted it, but not the bottom edge. It looks very nice. This side is better. And I think the coal load's fine. He put it at an angle as if it's being used. And let's get to this front. Oh my. Okay, so I can't really complain, but it's just kind of like, why? I don't understand why he didn't put the wires through right here. He drilled a hole in the bottom of it, 2 holes, when he could just put it right through there. I don't know, maybe it was too small for the wires and he couldn't drill it. I don't know why. I have not opened it up yet, but still, it's just annoying me, especially since on this side of the actual engine, it goes through the hole. You know, and then, you know, there's just a lot of extra wire this way. You know, tomato, tomato. I'm also gonna have to mess with this drawbar because you can actually see it from it scraping because it's so low. That's why it has to bend so much. Look at that weird bend. It's so low that when you go over a switch, it scrapes the track. And does short the track, if you're wondering. It does in fact do that, but sometimes the wires will be under it and that doesn't really short. That doesn't really help because that's like trying to pick up the engine. The tender's fine. It's not what we're here for. It's a nice, I'm not gonna sit over there. It's a nice little tender. Now let's get on to the engine. It looks very well. It looks great. I think it looks good. The headlights, I don't really like the headlight, but it looks good. It looks great. It looks magnificent. It looks amazing. Now, if I did this, I can't say much because I've never actually painted an engine. I would have not painted this or this. I would have let the brass show through. I think that would have looked very much fancier. And same with those. But you know, that's just personal taste. But I think it looks great. Very, very wonderful. Very majestic. Now I'm thinking about adding smoke, but I don't want to drill 2 giant holes through the smoke stacks. I don't know. Oh yeah, you can see it. He, what looks like, I have not yet to open it. He, what looks like, used electrical tape under there to hold the motor. So you can see the motor under the firebox there. A pokey stick, there you go. So you can see the motor, it's right back there. And he's got electrical tape holding it on, which is just interesting. I feel like there needs to be a better permanent solution that I could maybe come up with, maybe 3D print something, I'm not sure. And I'll get it on the scale and show you how much it weighs. So the engine weighs 1 pound and 6.5 ounces, but if you throw on the tender, which is decently hefty, it goes up to about, it goes up to 2 pounds, 2 ounces. So I would say relatively light, much lighter than expected. Now I don't know your typical brass engine weight, but I expected more. I don't know if there is a weight inside of it or not, because I mean, made out of metal. So we're gonna get onto the actual like 3-ish issues it has. One, I don't know if you noticed, it has all of its flanges, which is fine, I guess. It doesn't really help the curves. The real issue is these drivers barely wiggle back and forth. I mean, they have little to no wiggle. There's like -6 wiggle compared to most engines I have. So it struggles on certain corners and switches, but it's not as bad of a deal because it's not too horrible because I'm running it and I know exactly what's gonna have trouble with it and I know exactly where it's gonna have problems, so I can look out for those. It's because I'm not gonna have, shockingly enough, no one other than me, myself, and I will be running this engine. Okay, it is above you. Even if, I mean, like, yeah, $400, tomato, relatively a lot. It's just that it's the S2, it's brass, it's made in 1965. It's probably most likely 100% hand built, I'm not sure. But yeah. Okay, so that's like the first problem. The second problem is that is quite low, very low with. So every once in a while on a few spots, it's really not that many, it will hit the track and you see sparks. Sometimes it shorts, sometimes it doesn't. Not too big of an issue. And then the motor is kind of an issue, but it's not as bad as expected. So that's fine. What is kind of funny, like I said, I really only have 2 issues other than this drawbar, you could say is third, is what just fell. A piece of coal, probably fake coal, just fell out of there, which I'm okay with because there's like a big clump at the front and I didn't like it. So it was only a matter of time before I broke it. So on the bottom, there was, I don't know how, but there was like this one point where it derailed and it kind of jumped up like this on the front and it electrified the whole entire thing. And it sucked. We wanted to see how much power it was taking. We just figured that out recently, that we can check how much power is actually being used, and it skyrocketed. Like, I think we have 3 amps of power is what we have. Well, we've definitely gone over 3 amps, and it went from like maybe a half amp to 1.5 amps. It was kind of funny. I don't know. It was very interesting. It's a very cool engine. It is great. It runs, you know, I'm gonna get on the track and go ahead and show you it running. We're definitely gonna have to fix some areas that I'm not gonna deal with. It's just our 2 bridges. It derails and messes up, and it's kind of a problem, and I don't want to deal with that on bridges because that's a very dangerous situation. I don't want my brass S2 just nose diving off the side of the layout. Okay, it's happened to me once, not the brass engine. I don't want it to happen to my glory, my happiness. So here it is, all assembled on the track. So let's just emphasize this drawbar and wire problem. Look at that. Look at that. It's touching the track. And the drawbar is right down there with it. I don't know if you can really see it, but it is just as low. So, you know, that's a slight issue, but that's fixable. I mean, if that's my worst problem, I'm okay with it. For a 60-year-old engine, I'm very okay with that. So here's it running. So this is 2 speed steps. I mean, I think it's very interesting. It's 1, I don't know. Is it spinning? No. So here it is. It's relatively smooth. It's quite actually smooth. It's very smooth. Generally. Sometimes it'll have like a hiccup and will kind of hesitate, or it'll just hesitate sometimes. But I mean, once you get up to like 20 speed steps, it's guaranteed smooth, and generally under 20, it's 90% of the time smooth. and I will show you some of it pulling cars in a minute. Just give me a second. I'll get back to you after we're out of this room. Okay, so now we're over here. We're gonna go on this track, and you should see one of the problems it has due to its bad radius, I would say. It definitely is not an 18-inch radius curve type of engine. Yep, yeah, see, it happened. I don't know why. See, I don't really know why it derailed there. That's actually the first time it's derailed there. Yeah. Very interesting. I don't know why now it's not moving. Okay, this is weird. Okay, it just seemed like it lost power for some reason. I don't know. I'm trying to go slow from those switches. It actually did that fine. I went straight through here earlier and it had some problems, as in it was very difficult, which is interesting. It kind of worked better backwards. I don't know why. So let's hook up to this train and take it around the layout and see what we can do. I'm gonna take some cars off. We're gonna take 6 cars for now. Didn't connect. See, they didn't put Katie's on this. Like, I get it. You know, you have your brass engine. You're trying to be realistic. And yet you just annoy some 15-year-old with a little bit too much money. See if we can do these switches, no problem. Yep, that's what happened last time. So as you can see, it popped off the rail there. Which, yeah, it's an issue. Not really one we can fix. It did lose power. Yes. There we go. Is it a problem? Yes. Is it too big of an issue? I would say no, because I'm the only one running it. If this was my i1, then I would be a bit more annoyed. Yes, it's a $400 engine. Yes, it's an engine that's 60 years old that's made out of brass. So, you know, you win some, you lose some. So here he comes out of the tunnel. Yeah, this is only like quarter speed, so holy spinning. Yeah. He does have some problems, but I mean, yeah, it does struggle a bit. This is a relatively steep hill. Okay. Is it touching? No, but you can, yeah, it actually is. It looks like it is. Look at that. Look how close that is. If it's not touching, it's almost touching. It is, in fact, touching. Oh no, it's not. Okay, so you can see how close that is and why that can be a problem. Just get some help. See, what I do with most engines, instead of pushing them, is I like to add the weight to them. Sometimes ooh, that's... Yes, so he do be struggling. Now, to be fair, this is steeper than our big steep hill. But yeah, I'll probably have to end up replacing the motor or adding some weights, something. But until then, I'm just gonna throw an F unit on it. Not now, but later I will. Let's just get up this hill first and go out to the next room. Okay, so we're in the next room. It had some problems going down that hill last time with derailment, and it looked like that front truck is that derailed? No, it was not. I just made it derailed. But yes, here we go. I mean, even look on level truck. Look how close that is. The flash is on because it is dark in here. Yeah, we're at 83 speed steps cruising up the hill. I mean, he's pretty speedy. Ooh, well, that's a lot of wheel slip. That hurts to look at. It's painful to hear and look. Okay, there we go. So, I don't know what I'm gonna do. It has a lot of wheel slip, so I'm not sure it really needs a new motor as much as just weight. Yeah, there we go. See, it has stay alive, but yet when it gets to this switch, it stops. Yeah, see, I don't get that. Can someone explain? Can somebody smarter than me explain this? Okay, and we're back. So I had help with something. It does look very majestic, I do have to say. Okay, so here's one of those situations where that front is super low. It's currently holding up the front drive wheels. So you can see that there is in fact a gap in between the first two drive wheels, giving it no traction. But I mean, if you just hit that with a little bit of speed, it's fine. Yeah. I mean, it runs relatively good on the layout. Obviously not as flawless as if I were to just go ahead and buy myself a BLI engine that I could have spent $400 on. That would have run better, had a sound decoder, but that's not the point of this, okay? It's not the point. Since I didn't have $800 to burn on this engine, you know, this is what you get. And I am very okay with it. I am 100% okay. This actually exceeded my expectations, so that's relatively well. Oh, that was weird. But I mean, it still handles corners relatively well for having little to no, you know, play in the wheels. And that was weird. Sometimes it does have that hesitation. I feel like it would work better, one, with some oil. The guy said it needed some oil, and two, maybe a better way of holding down that motor. Here we are, just cruising. It looks very nice. It was $400 well spent. I'm just glad it runs. It runs, it looks very well. And you gotta mind, this was painted by someone. This isn't factory, well, it was not really made in a factory, but still, this wasn't made by the company. They don't come, at least this one doesn't come made with paint on it. You have to add that. So it looks quite well, quite nice for someone just adding that. This is running significantly better than last time I tested it. Gonna go ahead and stop at this station. So here it is. This is gonna be the end of my video. You don't get to hear me talk anymore. You're welcome. So I think it's good. I'm impressed with it, honestly. You know, for thinking that it has very little, you know, play with how much these drive wheels can go side to side, and the fact that they all have flanges, I would say it runs surprisingly well. It also ran surprisingly much better than when I was filming it, so that's also a plus. I would say happy with my purchase, even though, you know, my Niagara i1, literally every other engine I have, probably runs better than this, can pull more. Other than my diesel, can pull more, probably run, other than my Blue Box diesel and my other non-sound diesel, this has got to be the worst runner I have. But I am 100% okay with that. That's what I expected. That's what I got. So, that's all I got for you today. That was quite a long rant. So, see you next time.